Have you ever wondered what really happens to your prostate when you stop ejaculating for a long time? Especially if you have over 50, 60, or up to 70 years? It may seem like a detail of sex life, something that many older men leave aside over time. But what you don't know, or maybe you are ignoring, may be endangering your health at this very moment. And I'm not talking about a passing discomfort. I am talking about chronic inflammation, prostatic increase, silent pain, brutal fall of libido, and even a higher risk of developing serious diseases such as prostate cancer. The truth is that many men, as they get older, stop worrying about it. They think it is no longer ejaculating as normal or even expected with age. But is it really that it is natural to completely expel sperm? Science has another opinion. Studies already show that the prolonged absence of ejaculation can contribute to the accumulation of prostate secretions, generate inflammation, cause pain during urine, and even harm your sexual and emotional health. Worst of all this may be happening now with you, without you realizing it. If you are feeling that the desire to urinate has increased, get up several times at night, feel strange discomfort in the pelvic region, or have realized that the force of the urinary jet has decreased, attention. These may be the first signs that your prostate is inflamed or swollen. And one of the main reasons may be linked to the absence of sexual activity or regular ejaculation. Yes, that's right. Stopping ejacular is not just a matter of pleasure, it is a matter of male health. A question of prevention, a question of life. Just imagine, you spend years of your life taking care of your work, your family, fighting for everything. And now, by ignoring a simple natural habit of the body, you may be putting everything to lose. The prostate is a small gland, but with gigantic importance in the man's body. It is not only for reproduction, it regulates vital functions of its urological health, its hormonal balance, and even its self-esteem. When neglected, it can become a real problem. And why do so many men ignore this? Because no one talks about it openly. Because there is shame, there is taboo. There is that wrong idea that after 60, sex life is over. Lie. What ended, in fact, was the accessible knowledge. And that is why this video is so important, because you will now understand what is behind this theme, so silent, but so crucial to man's health. Because from now on, you will know exactly what to do not to fall into this trap that has already led thousands of men to serious and avoidable complications. And I'll make you an invitation. Don't close this video yet. What comes next may surprise you. You can warn you. You can change the way you see your intimate health. What you will find out in the coming minutes is something that no doctor has explained to you with this clarity. By the way, before continuing, I want to know about you. Have you heard about this relationship between prostate ejaculation and health? Have you noticed any change in your body with the age, such as difficulty to urinate, loss of libido, or that discomfort you can't explain? Comment here below. Your experience can help other men who are going through exactly the same, but they have no one to talk to. This is a space for learning, exchange, and especially awareness. Here we talk bluntly about what many avoid, but everyone needs to know. And that's why it's so important that you participate. Right here in the comments, have you stopped worrying about your sex life because you think you're too old for that? Have you heard any doctor talk about the importance of regular ejaculation after 50? And already enjoy this moment to do 2 quick things. Give a like here in the video. It shows YouTube that this theme is important and needs to reach more people, and subscribes to the channel right now. This is not just a click, it is a commitment to your health. It's your way of saying, I care about my body, my vitality with my well-being. If you are a man above 50 or know someone in this age group, father, uncle, grandfather, friend, this content can literally make a difference between living with quality or dragging a silent problem for years. Many men only find out that they had something wrong when they are already in advanced stages of prostatic diseases. But you are here now. This already puts you one step ahead. Now what is missing is knowing what is happening inside your body when you stop ejaculating for weeks, months, or even years. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about now. Prepare yourself, because what you will find out can completely change your way of seeing something that has always been treated like taboo. Let's go straight to the point. The prostate is a nut-sized gland, but with an extremely strategic function in man's life. It is responsible for producing part of the semen, that substance that transports sperm during ejaculation, But there is a detail that most men completely ignore. When you stop ejaculating for long periods, this gland continues to produce secretions. That's right. Production does not simply because you have decided to stop having relationships or stopped masturbating. She is still active. And what happens to this not expelled material? It accumulates within the prostate itself. And unlike other glands in the body, the prostate does not have an alternative flow system. If you don't ejaculate, these secretions are there, stagnant. And this, over time, begins to generate a series of silent inflammatory reactions. It's like leaving a perishable liquid stored for weeks in a closed bottle. 1 hour it begins to ferment, change, generate toxins. In your body, this manifests itself through an increase in prostate, pain when urinating, burning, that constant feeling that the bladder is never empty, and even more serious problems such as benign prostatic hyperplasia and, in extreme cases, prostate cancer. You may be wondering, but just stopping ejacular already causes it all? The answer is clear. It is not the only cause, but it is one of the most ignored. And when added to factors such as physical inactivity, inflammatory feeding, and absence of routine examinations, it becomes a true fuel for the disease. Ejaculation, besides being a sexual process, is also a form of internal cleaning of your reproductive system. It is the moment when your body eliminates old secretions, cellular residues, toxins, dead proteins. When you suppress this process for weeks or months, you are literally drowning out your prostate's health. What few men know is that there is a direct connection between the frequency of ejaculation and the reduction of the risk of prostatic diseases. Serious studies conducted by respected universities have already pointed out that men who ejaculate more regularly, around 4 to 5 times a week, have lower rates of inflammation and lower incidence of prostate cancer. Of course, this does not mean that you need to become a teenager again, but that maintaining a reasonable frequency is more than a matter of pleasure or desire. It is a measure of prevention. And then comes a point that deserves attention. With age, many men report loss of sexual desire, erectile dysfunction, constant tiredness, and this makes the act of ejacular becomes increasingly rare, often non-existent. But the cycle is perverse. By stopping ejaculating, you further encourage the accumulation of secretions. This increases inflammation, and inflammation affects not only the prostate, but also blood circulation in the pelvic region. The result? Even less desire, more difficulty in erection, more urinary problems, and the wheel of decay spins. The man's body was designed to be moving, including in this respect. Sexual function, contrary to popular belief, is not just a matter of youth or vanity. It is a health expression. It is a thermometer of your physical, hormonal, and emotional state. When a man stops ejaculating completely, the body understands this as a sign that something is not working as it should. This affects testosterone production, which in turn directly impacts its energy, disposition, muscle mass, humor, and even concentration. Have you ever noticed how men who completely put aside sex life begin to look more slaughtered, less alive? This is no coincidence. It is physiology. The absence of sexual activity and regular ejaculation also affects sleep, increases stress levels, and may even raise the risk of depression in some cases. The prostate, however small, profoundly influences its integral health. It is not isolated in the body. It is part of a system that, when careful, charges a high price. Another common consequence of lack of ejaculation is increased pressure on the urethra. The prostate, swelling due to the accumulation of secretions and inflammation, begins to compress the urinary canal. What does this cause? That weak urine jet interrupted. That uncomfortable feeling that you still need to go to the bathroom even after you have just urinated. In more serious cases, there may even be complete urinary retention, requiring urgent medical procedures. And it's important to make it clear, you don't have to be in a relationship to take care of it. Masturbation, when done with conscience and without guilt, is a healthy alternative. What matters is to maintain the regularity of the activity. If you are alone, no problem. This is no reason to leave air. Your health does not expect, it does not depend on anyone. It depends on you, your decisions, your habits. The question that remains is, why is there so much taboo to talk about it? Why are so many men ashamed to discuss the health of your prostate? Why is it easier to laugh at an examination than to make a commitment to live with quality in the next 10, 20, 30 years? Perhaps because we were taught to think that aging is synonymous with stopping, but it is not. Aging healthy is continuing. Continue moving, taking care, understanding that each daily choice directly impacts what ahead. You may not even feel anything now. You may think it's okay that it doesn't apply to you, but the body speaks, and sometimes he starts screaming when it's too late. So this is the time to pay attention, to hear, to observe. Are you urinating more often? Do you feel that the force has decreased? Is it less desired than before? Do you realize that erection is no longer the same? All of this may be linked to the health of your prostate and the absence of regular ejaculation. And that is why this video is so important. Because no one talks about it with you. Because in medical appointment, often the time is short, the conversation is too technical, or simply there is no room for this kind of orientation. But here, we talk. Here, we break the silence. Here you find the information that can make a difference between living with energy or living with limitations. If you got here, I want to make you an invitation. In fact, two. The first, comments down here the phrase, "I want to live with vitality." If you believe that taking care of your prostate health is a priority, it shows me that this video is making sense to you, and you can also inspire other men to position themselves. And the second invitation is even more important. Tell me here in the comments if you've been through this kind of situation, if you've been months without ejaculating, if you already felt any of these symptoms I described. Your comment can open a space of dialogue that other men needed, and together we can create a more conscious, healthier, stronger community. From the moment ejaculation ceases to happen regularly, not only the health of the prostate begins to suffer, but a chain of silent effects sets in the male body. And I say silent because most men don't feel anything right away. Symptoms do not appear like a blow. They accumulate, hiding in everyday detail. Small changes that seem harmless, but when you realize, they have already become a problem. One of the first dangers that settle in this process is the so-called chronic prostatitis. It is a persistent inflammation of the prostate, usually caused by the prolonged accumulation of secretions that were not eliminated through ejaculation. This inflammation can cause pain in the pelvic region, a sensation of weight between the legs, discomfort when sitting for a long time, as well as pain or burning when urinating. Many men ignore these symptoms or attribute tiredness, age, bad posture, and do not seek help. This causes the picture to evolve without control, and the more time it goes, the more difficult to reverse inflammation. And the thing doesn't stop there. Along with inflammation, there is also a real risk of prostate growth, famous benign prostatic hyperplasia, or HPB. This is an extremely common condition among men from the age of 50, and it is often related to multiple factors: genetics, food, physical inactivity, hormonal changes, but the absence of regular sexual activity. When the prostate increases in size, it begins to press the urethra, the channel that conducts the bladder urine out of the body. The result is a true inconvenience: weak urinary jet, a sense of urgency to urinate, desire to go to the bathroom several times at night, difficulty completely emptying the bladder. It is a cycle that is repeated every day and drastically compromises the quality of life. And what happens to a man when he begins to lose this basic control of his own body? When he realizes that he can no longer urinate easily, that his sexual performance is becoming weaker and weaker, that desire has diminished to the point of not even remembering the last time he wanted to relate? The answer lies in the most important hormone of male health, testosterone. Ejaculation is directly linked to the production and balance of testosterone in the body. When man stops having sex, stops masturbating, stops stimulating his own body, testosterone levels fall. And it's not just the desire that goes away with it. Go with energy, disposition, physical strength, mood, motivation. Man begins to feel constant tiredness, begins to lose muscle mass, accumulate abdominal fat, and in many cases develop depressed symptoms EVOS. It is a domino effect, and many do not realize what is happening. They think it's age, they think it's stress, but no, it is the body shouting by attention, signaling that something essential is missing for its proper functioning. And the hardest thing is that man often does not feel comfortable talking about it, do not seek help, does not comment with anyone. It accumulates frustration, insecurity, even shame. And this begins to affect your identity, self, confidence, your posture in the face of life. Prostate health is not just physical, it is emotional either. It is linked to the sense of masculinity, the sense of vigor, of power, of presence. When a man loses his connection with his sexuality, he begins to disconnect from other areas of life. Work becomes more difficult, interpersonal relationships become more tense, patience decreases, irritation increases. And all this, deep down, often has a clear origin: the absence of sexual vitality and the contempt for the health of the prostate. The curious, and at the same time worrying, is that many men do not perceive the signs until it's too late. When they are looking for a urologist, they are already increasing, feeling constant pain, urinating badly, without libido, and with altered exams. And when the doctor asks about the frequency of sexual activity or masturbation, the answer is almost always the same: it's been a long time. And then it is evident that the lack of ejaculation was ignored as a risk factor for a long time. No one had talked about it. No one had clearly explained that ejaculating regularly is not just a matter of pleasure. It is a form of prevention. And that is why I repeat, stop ejaculating is not just to stop having relationships. It is opening the door to a number of problems that directly affect prostate health, hormonal balance, and man's general well-being. It is putting the body in stagnation mode. And the body was not made to stand still. It was made to function, circulate, eliminate what no longer serves, renew. The man who completely this cycle is going against his own biology, and the price of this, one time or another, will arrive. Some even try to justify by saying that they no longer have partners, or that the wedding has cooled, or that they have no more time. But you see, no one is saying that you need to become a teenager again. This is not about that. What is at stake here is your health, and health does not expect. Masturbation, when done consciously, without guilt, is a way of keeping its prostate active, clean, healthy. It is not a sin. It is not weakness. It is self-care. It is maturity. It is respect for your body. You who are listening to this now may have identified with any of these situations. Perhaps it is already feeling the effects of this, without realizing that the root of the problem is precisely in the absence of regular ejaculation. Perhaps it is facing difficulties to sleep, irritability, constant feeling of tiredness, fall in self-esteem. All of this may be interconnected, and that is why this warning is so important. Lack of ejaculation is not just a detail of sex life. It is a silent, sneaky danger that corrodes the quality of life of many men without even realizing it. And now I want to invite you to do something simple but powerful. If you got here, it's because this theme caught your attention. Then comments down here. Prostate's health is a priority if you believe that taking care of yourself is an act of courage. This will show me and other people who are watching that there is a group of conscious men committed to their well-being. And if you want to share your story, your questions, or even vent, the space is open. Right here in the comments. Have you noticed any change in your body since you stopped ejaculating frequently? Have you ever faced any of these symptoms I said here? Your report can inspire and help other men take the first step. Oh, and of course, don't forget to leave the like in the video because it helps the content to get to more people. And if you are not subscribed to the channel yet, you subscribe now. Here we talk openly about prostate health, longevity, sexuality, and quality of life for men above 40. Every week has new content, direct, without winding, to help you live with more vitality, more awareness, and more control over your own health. Activate the bell not to lose the next videos, and share this content with a friend. You may be saving someone's health with a simple click. Now that you have understood the real dangers of getting long periods without ejaculating, it's time to look forward. Because knowledge, alone, changes nothing. What changes your health, your life is action. It is attitude. And so, I want to show you now what you can and should start doing immediately to protect your prostate, recover your energy and EV. It is it too that this cycle of inflammation, tiredness, and hormonal imbalance continues to deepen. And the first thing you need to understand is simple. Your body was made to move even in this respect. You need to maintain a regular sexual activity or, if not possible, a conscious masturbation. There is no shame on that. None. Many men still carry that old-fashioned idea that masturbation is a kid, or that after a certain age it is ugly, dirty, it is wrong. None of that. Conscious masturbation is actually a health tool. A natural, safe, and effective way to keep your prostate active and functional. When you ejaculate, you make the prostate work healthily, which eliminates old secretions that keep the channel clean, which stimulates blood flow in the pelvic region. This helps to avoid inflammation, hormonal deregulation, and also strengthens your connection with your own body. It doesn't matter if you are single, widower, separate, or married, but sexually distant. Self-care is your responsibility. In addition to sexual activity or masturbation, there is another powerful ally that most men have never heard of: perineum exercises, also known as Kegel exercises. These exercises are focused on strengthening the pelvic floor, a muscles that supports the bladder, the rectum, and of course the prostate. When these muscles are strengthened, you gain more urinary control, improve your erectile function, and even stimulate blood circulation in the region. It's like giving an internal renewed on your reproductive system. And the best part? You can do this sitting, lying, standing in the car, at home, without anyone noticing. It is discreet, it is simple, and, if done with consistency, brings real results. The technique is easy. Just contract the perineum region as if holding the urine, keeping the contraction for a few seconds, and then relaxing. Repeat a few times a day. It may seem little, but to your prostate, this is giant. Now, let's talk about another decisive factor: your food. It's no use taking care of ejaculation and forgetting what you put on the plate every day. Food is one of the greatest responsible for inflammating or deflating your prostate. Foods rich in saturated fat, sausages, excess red meat, fried foods, refined sugars, all feeds the inflammatory process in the body. And prostate, this is even more sensitive. On the other hand, there are foods with anti-inflammatory action that help protect, regenerate, and even revert initial prostatic increase. Tomato, for example, is a true natural weapon against prostate problems. It is rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that acts directly on the health of prostate cells. But there is one detail: the boiled tomatoes have more available lycopene than raw, so natural sauces, soups, or that garlic braised tomatoes can be even more beneficial. Another amazing food is flaxseed. Rich in omega-3 and lignanas, flaxseed helps regulate men's hormones and has a powerful anti-inflammatory effect. Just 1 spoon a day in the juice, yogurt, or food. And I can't help but quote green tea. He is one of the most studied teas when it comes to prevention of prostate cancer. Rich in catechins, green tea acts on cellular protection, hormonal control, and also helps eliminate toxins from the body. Taking 1 or 2 cups a day can make a difference. And of course, there is no way to talk about prevention and care with the prostate, not to mention checkup with the urologist. A lot of people are still scared to go to the doctor for pure prejudice. But let's tell the truth. This is not courage. This is ignorance. Taking care of your health does not make you less man. Quite the contrary. It shows that you have responsibility for your life, with your family, with your quality of life. Touch examination, PSA, prostate ultrasound, are diagnostic tools that can detect any changes early. And when a problem is detected early, the chance of treatment and healing is much higher. There are a lot of men who only looks for the urologist when he is already urinating badly, when he is already in pain, when he has fully lost the libido. And then, sometimes what could be resolved with simple changes in habit ends up requiring surgery, hospitalization, strong medicines. Do not expect to get to that point. The ideal is to make at least 1 appointment per year. Know how the prostate size is, bladder health, hormone levels, and if it is necessary to repeat the exams more often, whatever. Better preventive consultation than emergency treatment. And look, don't think that only the body benefits from these attitudes. When you start taking care of your prostate, your sexuality, your diet, your exam routine, the impact on your mind is also deep. You feel stronger, more willing, safer. Your self-esteem improves, your trust increases, and even your relationship with others changes. Life gains more color, more sense, because you are taking control. You are becoming the protagonist of your own health. And if you feel you are far from this today, no problem. Every process of change begins with 1 step, and this video can be this step for you. A missing push, a record that needed to fall. The important thing is to understand that it is never too late to start. That age does not define your vitality. That you can grow old with energy, with power, with pleasure, with dignity. Just decide. Just act. And if you got here with me, I know this content made sense to you. So now I want to invite you to interact. Comment down here. My health is my responsibility. This shows that you have understood the message and is committed to its evolution. And if you want, share with me how your routine is today. Do you do exams regularly? Do you usually ejaculate frequently? Did you already know the benefits of tomatoes or flaxseed? Your comment can make room for other men to reflect on their own choices. If you stayed here with me first, congratulations. Few men have the courage and maturity of going to the end when it comes to prostate health and male sexuality. This already shows that you are one step ahead. Now I ask you a simple but very important favor. Subscribe to the channel right now. This is not just to receive the next videos, it is a commitment you make to your health, your well-being, and evolution. And if you really stayed until the end, comment below the phrase, "I choose to take care of my prostate." So I will know that you are one of those who do not escape the subject, who really wants to change, and will still inspire other men to do the same. Your comment may be the spark that someone needed to wake up. Enjoy and already leave your like in this video. If this content has made sense to you, this is the fastest way to make it reach more people who are also having to hear it. And of course, it doesn't come out now. The next video is already appearing here on the screen. Click on him and continue with me on this journey. You will understand even more about living with energy, power, and longevity, the way you deserve it. We see there.